Aloha and how's it? I apologize if there was a delay where you were just seeing me staring at the camera. We are having some crazy Hawaiian storms. So hopefully, cross the fingers that the power holds out so we can get through our live today because it's a really fun topic. We are talking all about how to up our game on LinkedIn moving into the new year. And there's more on that in a minute, but we're all starting to think about what's next for us on LinkedIn. So, how was your weekend? Many of you have reached out to me asking about whether or not we are okay on the island with all of the stormy weather and what we would call a blizzard conditions. I think many of you on the mainland would laugh at that because we call blizzard conditions when we have to put on a sweatshirt and it's raining outside and nobody wants to go out. We're all in wetsuits at the beach. So it's a little different, but it's been a surfing competition weekend here. We had an insane swell with all of the storms and the weather and the wind. So some gnarly waves at Haleiwa, my personal favorite place to surf, not when it's that big. And we had some excellent surfing to watch over the weekend. If you're into surfing at all, or you wanted to see one really cool video, I would recommend just Googling John Florence. He's a local favorite and he scored a 10-point ride, which is a perfect score in the finals yesterday at the Haleiwa Challenger. So it was really cool. It's a sick wave. Anyhow, enough surf talk for today. Let's move on. It is time for Mondays with Mindi. It's a weekly show at 3 p.m. Eastern, 12 p.m. Pacific, where I talk all about LinkedIn pipeline, promo, and profiles, what I call the 3 Ps of LinkedIn. So if you have questions about LinkedIn that you want me to answer, be sure to like this post, whether you're live, you're watching from the replay, leave your questions below and I will answer them after the show or on a future episode of Mondays with Mindi. But let's get right into today's topic. I know it's been a hot one. I've been asked a lot about Mindi. I'm thinking about 2022. I think LinkedIn fits somewhere, but I'm not exactly sure where. So what should you be thinking about regarding your LinkedIn strategy in 2022? We've seen a lot of changes on LinkedIn in the past year. I feel like LinkedIn is really continuing to invest in the platform, in the people, in the relationships that we're able to build here. And it is critical that we are paying attention and that we are kind of keeping up to date on what's been changing and that we do have a LinkedIn strategy that matches that. What I'm noticing is the strategy I was using a year ago, 2 years ago, is no longer working as well on LinkedIn. So I've worked with a lot of my clients to like reshape those strategies over the past several months. LinkedIn has made so many new features available. They're pushing the digital creator mode. So if you're a content creator or you are an influencer and want to build that influence, pay attention. LinkedIn cares about helping you and helping you reach your objectives. And they continue to show us that by the new features that are coming along. Is it as sexy as like Instagram or the latest and greatest TikTok? No, but it is the one place where people are gathering to talk about being a professional, to talk about their expertise. So with all of the strategies that we could implement to accelerate our careers, grow our businesses in the next year, which strategy is really going to be the one to actually move the needle for you? When it comes to social media, it's very common for people to default to whichever social channel that they enjoy the most as a user. So what I've seen a lot of people do in the space is really focus on Instagram. It's fun. Or TikTok. That one is really fun. You get sucked in and you're watching all kinds of TikToks. My daughter comes and shows me all these TikTok dances. I'm like, I know TikTok is fun. Instagram reels are engaging, but where are you going to get the most impact for your business? Using LinkedIn may be on your list somewhere, but let's talk about why it's the one that can have the greatest impact on your success. It may not be the most trendy social channel out there, but LinkedIn has that staying power. It's the one channel that even the stuffiest professionals trust. So no matter whether you're a job seeker searching for your next dream job, a solopreneur, bootstrapping a new business model, or a subject matter expert ready to skyrocket their influence in the new year, LinkedIn is foundational to achieving your goals. Plain and simple. Within the next few weeks, we'll turn our calendars to a fresh new year. And if you're anything like me, you've been noodling over the strategies to make it the best one yet. So let's discuss today why LinkedIn is so powerful, whether you're trying to build those one-to-one connections or you're trying to build a one-to-many approach with your ideal clients and customers. Plus, we'll talk about how you can up your game in the next year on LinkedIn with a crystal clear strategy. So who's ready? This is going to be so fun. You can tell I'm really psyched. So here we go. For those who don't know me, my name is Mindy Rosser. I'm the founder of Mindy Rosser Marketing, and I have a group program called the LinkedIn Accelerator for those who want to go from 0 to 60 on LinkedIn with their profile and their network. So at the end, I'll share the link if you are curious and want to get on the 2022 waitlist. It's just around the corner. I help superstars who feel they are the best kept secret in their industry to become that go-to visible expert in their niche so they can get that next opportunity, grow their business, and scale their impact on LinkedIn. So in this live, we are going to talk about why you're not getting the results you want on LinkedIn. Even though you know LinkedIn is the most effective way to grow your business or skyrocket your career in 2022. And then what can you do now to prepare for an amazing and profitable next year? So are you ready? Let's jump right in. Go ahead and like this post, whether you're live, watching from the replay, to give it some social love. All right. So last week, little storytelling time. I spent the first 3 days immersed in the Business by Design live event hosted by the one and only James Wedmore and team. If you haven't heard of him, look him up. He's got fantastic business advice if you're a digital CEO. So I met and mingled with hundreds of go-getter entrepreneurs, seasoned digital CEOs, thought leaders making an impact. It was really inspiring. Peer panels, presentations from other experts, people who are, TEDxing their businesses, starting a podcast, launch runways, the best messaging strategies, and more. So it was really inspirational, but it was also a bit daunting trying to figure out the next big move. With so much input, with so many ideas out there to grow your businesses, what's the next right move to make for you? So one mistake that we tend to make as experts is that we see, oh, shiny, and we jump to a new channel or a place that all the social gurus are telling us is the next big thing. TikTok was a huge portion of the social selling conversation at Business by Design Live, alongside everyone's favorite, the Instagram. So I found it really mind-boggling that nobody was talking about LinkedIn. We're all business leaders. It is the one place where you need to have a solid foundation, where the money is at, especially if you are in the B2B space or you have a relationship-based sale where you're trying to deepen those relationships. LinkedIn is it. And so there was very, very little talk of LinkedIn. Only a couple of us in the comments were like, hey, everyone, what about LinkedIn? Like, can we talk about that? So the problems happen when we're always pivoting to something new, or we only pay attention to the channel that we like. So when truly we should be evolving our business strategies over time. There was this concept that I really took away from the event that was powerful, and it was pivot versus evolve. So it's really easy to pivot, the buzzword of 2021 and 2020. I'm pivoting my business, but really it's evolving is what we need to focus on, because every time we pivot and we do like a start and stop, pivot is like a stop, start, stop, start. We lose that traction, we lose that momentum and the progress that we made. And evolution is more like, okay, I did something and it worked, or it didn't work so well. So I'm going to evolve that strategy into something else. So there's not a, forget it and move on. It's evolving. So this happens on LinkedIn all of the time. We start strong, we do all the right things, and for some reason, it doesn't work, or it doesn't work as well as we hoped. So we say, oh, we're pivoting. My audience is just not here. Or we keep doing what we're doing because we've been told, oh, consistency over time will generate results, just keep going. So what the experts aren't telling us is that consistency only works when you're doing the right things on LinkedIn. So it really pays to pay attention to what's working on LinkedIn. Finding some experts that you trust who are keeping you up to date without overwhelming you. So you don't want to feel like, all I do is think about LinkedIn or my strategy for LinkedIn, but you do need to kind of be in the loop and stay aware. So I've been there. I've worked hand in hand with hundreds of other experts trying to make a name for themselves on LinkedIn, change the way people think and do more good in the world. And it's really all about that shift in perspective. So you must believe that LinkedIn is the best channel for you to invest your energy, or it's just not going to work for you. If you think, oh, LinkedIn is one of my channels. Okay, great. But you're not really going to get any results if you approach LinkedIn with that mindset. You must understand that to generate the results on LinkedIn that you want, it does require that you learn a new way of doing things And a simple but well-designed strategy must be in place. So you have to learn a new way to do things and get your strategy together. And then really it's all about implementing that strategy and then iterating every month or every quarter. So it's a straightforward process, but you have to believe LinkedIn is the right place, learn a new way of doing things, pull together that strategy, and then implement that strategy with minor tweaks over time. So you will get the results you're after, but you must know what is possible for you and what goes into that strategy. Okay. So one of my recent cohort members from the LinkedIn Accelerator, that's my program, Maria, she came to me with a conundrum. Though she had a successful career as an engineer, she spent the last several months like doing the pivot from being a full-time careerist to going all in on her business to empower women in leadership roles. I like really resonated with her mission and I said, LinkedIn is the right channel for you. So we started working together inside the LinkedIn Accelerator to dial in her profile, craft connection messages, design a LinkedIn outreach strategy, really focus on reaching out to decision makers in those Fortune 500 organizations where she could provide leadership training based on her unique framework and also to get guests to come onto her podcast. So a few weeks after completing the program, she reached out to me in the DMs and said, Mindy, you're not going to believe it. I just sent off a leadership training proposal to a new LinkedIn connection who works at Clorox. And boom, just like that, she had kickstarted her lead generation machine on LinkedIn. And she felt that confidence that comes with knowing how to do LinkedIn right and how not to waste time on doing all the other things that don't matter. So it happens that fast. Once you know exactly what to say, once you feel confident with your profile, it communicates who you are, what you do, how you can help your audience. It's powerful. You feel that confidence. It's radiating. It's like when the person on the other end of receiving your messages is going to feel that positive energy and those vibes. So does Maria spend hours a day hijacking people's posts to get inbound leads? No, she doesn't. Is her LinkedIn network in the thousands of followers? Nope. She booked that call with less than 500 connections. So what about pumping out a lot of content on LinkedIn? Nada. She repurposes content from Instagram. But what she's doing right is that she understands her LinkedIn strategy. She has a clearly defined approach to identifying those perfect fit clients for herself. And she has the confidence to craft and send messages to get conversations started with those new connections. So you see, it all fits together. It doesn't feel complicated. It's like, oh, yeah, Mindy, that's like logical. It's not rocket science. That's it. There really is no complication. It's really the confidence behind creating and implementing a very, very simple strategy. So let's talk about what your 2022 LinkedIn strategy blueprint could look like. We're going to talk about 3 things to get your mind primed for creating that strategy. So every single professional on LinkedIn must have a strategy for how they are using LinkedIn and what their objectives are. I don't care if you're a careerist, you're looking for your next job, or you're an entrepreneur trying to break through the noise, or you're an influencer who's trying to shape people's perspectives, or you're a salesperson who simply wants to book more sales calls. You have to have a strategy. Your strategy could be as simple as one sentence, but you need to have a strategy, something that is guiding all the activities that you're doing on LinkedIn. So you're not scatterbrained. So you're not like, ooh, that's a cool tactic. I'm going to try that. Ooh, somebody said I should start live streaming. Oh, there's a newsletter feature. I should do that too. Oh, I'm supposed to be commenting on all these people's posts. There's so many things that you can do on LinkedIn, but should you be doing all of those things? No, they should all map to your objectives. LinkedIn is the most effective way to grow your business and accelerate your career in 2022. And it's up to you to figure out your strategy to make it work for you. So we're going to talk about the most important things to consider as you're creating your LinkedIn strategy for getting the results that you want. So the first thing to think about, decide on your primary 2022 objective for LinkedIn. So when I'm talking about your primary objective, like why are you on LinkedIn? Everybody has a reason for being on LinkedIn. They're all different. Some of them are similar, but we all have to be clear on why we're on LinkedIn and what we want LinkedIn to do for us. LinkedIn is it's kind of like having a Swiss Army knife. Like you can use it for a lot of different things. So what are you going to use? Do you need like the nail file? Do you need the pocket knife portion? Do you need the little scissors? Like how do you want to use LinkedIn? So some questions to ask yourself. Are you trying to get popular and build thought leadership? Is that important to you? Do you need to get more one-to-one conversations with your ideal prospects? What about is deepening your connections with your existing network more a priority? Or maybe you're hoping to be known as that go-to expert in your niche. So this objective is going to shape the results that you are going to get on LinkedIn. So you have to actually track these results. And if you are trying to build influence to get more followers, it's not a good idea to spend all of your time behind the scenes in your LinkedIn DMs, because that energy would actually be better spent commenting on posts, creating content, going live, writing a newsletter. Likewise, if you are trying to get into conversations with your LinkedIn network that may lead to like partnerships, sales, collaborations, projects, you should probably not be spending the bulk of your time creating the perfect LinkedIn post. 80% of your time plus, maybe more, should be spent having conversations in your LinkedIn messages. So do you see the difference there? It really depends on what your objective for LinkedIn is, what your activity should be. And I see a lot of people doing the wrong things. They say they want to have one-to-one conversations, yet all I see them doing is posting content on LinkedIn. And then I ask them, I say, oh, how are those DMs going? Oh, DMs? Yeah, I just get sales pitches. It's like, oh, okay. We need to reprioritize what you're doing on LinkedIn. So the activities that you're doing should lead to the objectives and lead to the goals that you're trying to reach. Getting one-to-one clients means you're going to spend time in the DMs. If you want to get popular on LinkedIn, you're going to have to write a lot of content. You're going to have to go live. You're going to have to use the newsletter feature. So it really depends on what you're trying to accomplish on LinkedIn. There is no right or wrong, but be very clear on what your objective is. All right, so number 2, you need to assess where you are now on LinkedIn. So do you already have a solid following established and you simply need to focus on working your existing network? Is your LinkedIn profile like out of date and you're like, oh, I'm pretty embarrassed, I don't want to do anything on LinkedIn because my profile it really sucks and it's not reflective of what I'm doing now? Or maybe you feel really comfortable using LinkedIn, like you've been on LinkedIn for a while and you really just need to figure out how to up your game. So you want to be honest with yourself about where you are currently and where you want to go on LinkedIn based on that primary 2022 objective. All right, so it's not rocket science. Maybe you already have the skills you need to up your game. And in this case, you really just need to put together your action plan. So if you're feeling pretty confident on LinkedIn and you're like, Mindy, I know how LinkedIn works. I know all the features. I kind of keep up to date with these things. I just need to do more of X. Then write that down as your action plan. You already know what you need to do. You don't need someone to tell you. You don't need to go invest in a program. You just need to do the thing, And if you need accountability or somebody to partner with you to keep you accountable, that can be helpful. But if you feel like, Mindy, I really just don't know. I don't know what I should do. Then you need to decide where you are going to get the training, the skills, the resources you need to make LinkedIn your most effective social channel. And you have to invest in yourself. You're going to have to put in a little bit of time to get up to speed. So my recommendation is always find a person whom you trust. When I am looking to solve a problem in my own business, what I do is I do some Google searching. I look around my network. I love podcasts. So a lot of times I'll come across people in the podcasts and I will say, oh, perfect. There's somebody who has a solution. I'm going to listen and pay attention to their content and see if it resonates. And then if it resonates, it's like I will invest in their books. I will invest in their programs, their coaching, to help me get unstuck. It makes no sense to try to reverse engineer everything yourself. If somebody has a process that you can easily invest in that will help you get those results 10 times faster. Okay. So what I like to do is I review all of their free content. I sign up for their programs. Shameless plug. I have a program called the LinkedIn Accelerator that can help you with your LinkedIn strategy. But don't be afraid to invest in yourself and your professional growth. That's how we grow. That's how we become and evolve to the next version of ourselves and evolve our businesses. And I practice what I preach. Like I just signed up for a, $11,000 group coaching program for 2022 that I know is going to give me the expertise, the no BS coaching and guidance I need to improve my own business model and deliver better results to my clients and my cohort members. It's really up to us to figure out what we need to get to that next level. So we have to assess where we are now on LinkedIn and where we want to go. And if that requires you just kind of making a list because you already know what to do, put it in your action plan. Or does that require you need to go do some research? You need to figure out who can teach you the skills you need to know to get to that next level. All right, number three is you're going to take that one next step towards your LinkedIn strategy. You're like, Mindy, I've heard this before. This may sound too easy, but it's all about taking one next action towards making LinkedIn work for you. So you can sit there watching this and say, yeah, Mindy, yeah. Okay, cool. On to the next live stream. But you do need to actually do something if you want to make LinkedIn work for you. Listening to me talk about LinkedIn and how wonderful it is and all these results you can get, it's not going to happen for you if you don't take that action. So you need to do something that shows your commitment to making that business growth happen for you in 2022. We've all heard the saying, if you always do what you've always done, you'll always get what you always got. So if you have not gotten the results that you want on LinkedIn, you need to do something different. It means it's not working for you. And consistency and doing the same thing over and over again is not going to fix that. You actually have to fix your strategy. So you're going to take one step. You're not going to map your entire strategy. You're going to take one step towards that strategy. For example, maybe you're thinking, okay, Mindy, yeah, you mentioned resources and I should probably do something regarding LinkedIn and upping my game here. Then maybe you sign up for a free LinkedIn masterclass or you get a free resource. Maybe you finally fix your LinkedIn headline. Maybe you look for a few experts whom you trust that teach how to do LinkedIn right and it resonates with you. So you're going to choose one next action, and that's going to start that domino effect for the rest of the actions you take. And you know this, like when we're curious about something. For instance, I was curious when I moved to the island here on Oahu, I was curious about surfing. So the one next action that I took was I signed up for a surf lesson. That one surf lesson like turned on an entire hobby for me and made me so excited to live on the island and actually change the course and the trajectory of how I live my days from that one next action. But I didn't come to the island and say, I'm going to become this type of surfer and I'm going to be surfing every day. No, all I did was I signed up for a surf lesson and decided this is fun. This isn't fun. No, this is really fun. And then that led and opened up other doors. So think about that one next action and how that can open the door for you. So, growing your business and skyrocketing your influence on LinkedIn can really be as simple as you want it to be. It's all about creating a strategy that works for you and generates the results that you want. It doesn't have to look like somebody else's LinkedIn success story. It is unique to you. So, let's recap. So, first, you're going to decide on that primary objective, just one thing that you're shooting to accomplish in 2022. Next, you're going to assess where you are on LinkedIn. So, where are you now? Do you need skills? Do you need resources? Or are you pretty good and you just need to do the thing? Then the third thing is you're going to take one next step towards crafting your LinkedIn strategy. Okay. So, what additional questions do you have about creating your strategy for LinkedIn? Leave them below in the comments or shoot me a private message, and I'm happy to answer them. I love talking LinkedIn strategies. I love hearing what's working for you, what's not working, because then we can talk about it on these live streams. We can have a conversation. So, if you're looking for that extra edge to get you started on the right path with LinkedIn to make 2022 your best year yet, get on the wait list for the next cohort of the LinkedIn Accelerator. We are kicking off right at the beginning of 2022 in January. And this program is tailored to take you through all of the sections on your LinkedIn profile in just 5 days flat. 1 week, you're off to the LinkedIn races. And we also talk about growing your network and how that looks. So if you're interested, here's the link to get on the wait list. Find out a few more details. I'll also put it in the comments after the show. So that's it for today. I will see you all next week on Mondays with Mindy. Feel free to leave questions or comments below, and my inbox is open if you ever want to message me directly about all things LinkedIn and beyond. All right, I will see you all next week. Have a good one.